Well, let's get on with the news. And the minority in Parliament is threatening to block the approval of the 2021 budget if government fails to address its concerns about the policy document. The NDC MPs, among others, are asking for the inclusion of the energy sector payments of 6.2 billion Ghana cedis in the fiscal tables to reflect in the corresponding fiscal deficit. They also want government to comprehensively outline how it intends to use the revenues generated from the new taxes and levies. Leader of the NDC caucus, Haruna Idrisu, at a news conference Thursday, accused government of using illegal means to further burden the ordinary Ghanaian.
We simply are saying that don't just blame COVID. Lack of fiscal prudence, mismanagement of the economy accounted for some of those issues. We note that for the 2019 fiscal year, government reported a fiscal deficit, as I said, of 4.8% of GDP. Whilst at the same time, as confirmed by the IMF in their April 2020 staff report on Ghana, a fiscal deficit of 7.5% of GDP was reported. It means mathematically that about 8.2 billion of some expenditure or debts was concealed. So they want to look good, they spend money, they keep away that expenditure. And international best practice of the fiscal deficit table, there's a standard to it. You must report accurately every expenditure that is done. So we are demanding that the fiscal deficit, including arrears for the 2020, be corrected in the budget statement to reflect the actual figure of some 17.5% of GDP. Because if you add up some of those expenditures, he excludes, for instance, 6.2 billion Ghana cedis being what government refers to energy sector payments. Are they payments and expenditure or not? Why is it excluded from the computation of the difference between our revenue and our expenditure, when in fact they themselves in the budget admit to 6.2 billion being energy sector payments?
And the minority MPs are also demanding the list of beneficiaries of the 4 million cedis allocated for government communication in the 2021 budget, questioning whether the president's cousin, Gabi Asare-Otrodako, is one of them. Speaking during the debate on the 2021 budget, MP for Ningo Prampram Sam George questioned why the 4 million Ghana cedis is distinct from the allocation to the Ministry of Information.
For a country that managed COVID so well, the countries that did not manage COVID well are handing out stimulus checks and relief checks to their citizens. Yet the country that managed COVID so well is rather going to tax its citizens for COVID. That is the wonder of the Akufo-Addo government. This is the same government that this year, in Appendix 6, page 241, is allocating 4 million Ghana cedis for government communication. And Mr. Speaker, this 4 million Ghana cedis for government communication is separate from the allocation for the Ministry of Information. Last year, we asked a specific question: which government agency is going to be accessing this money? Last year, it was 6 million Ghana cedis. And I make reference to the 2020 budget on page 233, Appendix 6, line item 16. 6 million Ghana cedis was allocated to government communication. I am at a loss. Apart from the ISD, apart from the Ministry of Communication and Ministry of Information and its agencies, Mr. Speaker, I am wondering if I can, or who these government communicators are. Because we keep seeing several people speak for government and on behalf of government. In fact, one of them, who before coming into government, we want to know if he's still one of the spokespersons making use of this 6 million or going to make use of this 4 million, is Gabi Asare-Otrodako, who on the 14th of September 2015 posted, if running an economy was all about borrowing your way into an unsustainable debt hole, then any half-wit could be president. We borrowed ourselves into an unsustainable debt hole. Are these the people we are spending 6 million last year and we are going to spend 4 million on to do communication for us? Or even then, running mate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who on the 2nd of December 2015 said NDC had resorted to increasing taxes under the economic difficulties they created, and MPP government would do differently. Are this now the spokespersons who we are going to spend 4 million of taxpayers' money on? We spent 6 million on them last year. We need to know who and which people are benefiting from 6 million Ghana cedis last year and 4 million Ghana cedis this year. We need to know who these people are.
Let's move over now to the Ashanti region, and the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital recorded a significant drop in maternal mortalities in 2020. Cases fell from 111 deaths in 2019 to 53 in 2020. Chief Executive Officer of the hospital, Dr. Henebo Usudanso, attributed the development to the operationalization of the new mother and baby unit and enhanced access to ambulance services. He was speaking at the 2020 end-of-year performance review of the hospital in Kumasi.
And critical indicator in the hospital's operations was a marked reduction in the number of maternal deaths. From a figure of 111 deaths in 2019, it reduced steeply to 53 in 2020. This translates into a maternal death ratio decline from 1,575 per 100,000 live births in 2019 to 847 per 100,000 live births in 2020, the lowest in the past 5 years. Apart from improved clinical care, two major contributing factors to this welcoming news could be the continual benefits that the hospital is deriving from the new mother-baby units, the Nana Efiakobi Sewa Ampe Naxa Center, which was constructed and commissioned by the First Lady, Her Excellency Rebecca Akufo-Addo, through the Rebecca Foundation, and also the enhanced operational capacity of the National Ambulance Service, which has ensured more prompt and improved quality in the state-referred patients are received in the hospital. Chairman, in spite of the sharp decline in our service figures and the resultant revenue drops in 2020, it is significant to note that management, with the support of the immediate past board, continue to invest heavily in the retooling and infrastructure upgrading efforts at the hospital in order to invigorate its operational capacity towards improving the quality of patient care. Vital facilities and equipment were procured from the hospital's internally generated funds, which are making a remarkable difference in our ability to provide a broader range of specialist and subspecialist care to the public. Notable among the equipment that have been delivered and installed during the period under review through the IGF funding are the following: electroconvulsive therapy machine for the psychiatry at the cost of 246,665 Ghana cedis, 2 operating lamps for the main theater at 227,200.
Well, let's take you now to the Eastern region for our Ghana Month story. And as you would know, the region is the hub of bead production and hosts arguably the biggest bead market in Africa and the entire world. One of its indigenous groups, the Krobos, are noted for the commercial production of glass beads, the contemporary taste of beads and fashion for many in Ghana, in Africa, and the rest of the world. Correspondent Maxwell Kudeko in this report unearths the anthropology of glass beads in Ghana.
The European traded beads among other treasuries for enslaved. Ghana have long before the invasion of Portuguese had cultural identity with beads. The Krobos, who existed in present-day Ghana and were domiciled in present-day Akuse before the beginning of slave trade in the 1480s, were already masters of glass beads production. The Krobos perfected the glass beads production from the Phoenicians and became part of their culture. Mr. Joshua Nate Nyumwa is director of Krobodan Beads Limited.
In the Krobo life, from the time somebody is giving birth to till the person dies. So we have beads that are worn for children. There is one called La. When a child is going to be given a name, that La is put there as a symbol, and it consists of 3 beads. We have Koli, we have Toby and Nyoli. Koli in the Krobo language means greatness. So that bead that is put on the wrist of the child signifies greatness. When you are growing, you must aspire for greatness. Then we have the Toby, which is black. It tells you that there is wickedness in this world, and as you are growing, you must be very careful. Then we have the white one, Nyoli, which tells you that you must always tell the truth.
Several types of fanciful beads are available, ranging from brass, antique chevron, clay and glass beads, but the glass beads appear to dominate. Ibrahim Mohammed is secretary to the Koforidua Beads Sellers Association. He shares his knowledge on the origin of beads in Ghana.
Because people who are like, let's say, hunters will use it to decorate themselves. When you kill an animal, they use the teeth. They use part of it to create something that they wear to show how strong or powerful they were to be able to kill, for example, a lion. And there was history of human beings' teeth used as beads. So it's for decoration, and human beings use everything to decorate. So that's why we still have beads from the seed which are beads also here. And the beauty, the way it is strung now, it is such that it attracts everyone. So that is how come the young guys of today, male and female, are all wearing them, because they have moved away from the way it used to be like a fetish thing to something fashionable.
Producers move round in search for all manner of used glass bottles and louver blades as primary raw material. It is compacted and ground to powder, mixed with preferred color, and dished into a well-designed molded clay plate and then baked. Here is your quality Ghana glass beads. What has changed with the narrative, making beads generational fashion in contemporary times? A bead seller popularly known as Bobo shared his thoughts.
But thanks to innovations and then what mostly happened in Nigerian films, it has given people that idea. And I tell you, that is where the revolution started, because we had it and then they were coming, pick it and then make it theirs. And today you can see it has taken everywhere like a storm.
Mr. Peter Manfo is director at the Center for National Culture in the Eastern Region. He told JoyNews the Koforidua Beads Market is the one and only biggest beads market in the whole of Africa and by extension the world.
And the beads, it's a unique identity. The beads market is a unique identity for the region, in the Eastern region, being the...
This Australia has been in the bead business over 20 years. She travels to Ghana often to buy local bead and redesign it for sale in Australia.
We all are looking for something to hold on the history, you know, because now the life is very fast going, and you know, all this plastic jewelry and so on. There's no history behind, and we are all looking for the good old time maybe.
On Ghana Man, Maxo Kodaka report for JoyNews.
Well, we end the news with a story from Rwanda, where gorillas are classified as endangered and a huge part of the world's wildlife, feared to go extinct if more conservation is not done to protect them from poaching and human violence. As the world hurries to protect the nearly 1,000 gorillas existing in the world with massive investment, Rwanda organizes periodic naming ceremonies for newly born baby gorillas as part of efforts to keep the gorilla population growing and also to protect the ecosystem. Gifty Ando-Apia has been learning more about these animals, who are known to share 98% of the same DNA with humans.
About 3,000 meters above sea level and shortly after heavy rains, I got the chance to meet Impuza Mahanga. That is his given name, meaning attraction to all nations. It is a huge black creature with streaks of silver-colored fur in between its upper back and buttocks, which are very identical to that of humans. Indeed, its entire makeup looks human, except it is averagely 6 times stronger than humans. This kind is classified as silverbacks. Gorillas extremely passionate, move in families of at least 10. Impusa Mahanga is head of the Susa gorilla family. He is out today with his baby, whose name is Ihoho, meaning beauty. Ihoho is seated, though in deep anxious thoughts, in the cold, just like a human. And when he yawns, he reveals an incredibly funny sight of an evenly spread black and white set of teeth. His father, Impusa Mahanga, busily scavenges through the bushes of his territory, munching on leaves at the same time. These two gorillas represent at least 880 mountain gorillas left in the world, and Rwanda is home of many of them, at least 176 of which have been accustomed to tourist presence, and others kept away for research, and painstaking efforts are made to keep them safe.
So I now understand when they said it is a journey of a lifetime. It's not easy. And ouch! 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 No.
That was feet disinfecting before we entered the forest. It was quite frankly not a journey for the faint-hearted. Periodically, when the gorillas make a baby, an eventful naming ceremony is held. Individuals considered outstanding can either name the baby gorillas or can be nominated to do so, and the names could often be translated to reflect Rwandan culture. Adoption is also allowed, although the gorillas will stay in their various agencies. This is part of an aggressive move to avoid extinction of the creatures. An American conservationist known for the undertaking of an extensive study of mountain gorilla groups, Diane Fossey, spent 20 years in Rwanda to, among others, strongly oppose poaching and tourism in wildlife habitats. She was murdered in December 1985 in her bid to keep the gorilla and so they don't go extinct. Today, many fans exist to continue her work as Rwanda reaches out to other countries, including Ghanaians, to pay them some visits in the coming weeks and perhaps name some gorilla babies after Ghana's unique dayborns.
Soaked us wet. That's what is taken for us to see one of the world's most endangered species, a family of gorillas, here at the Volcano National Park in Rwanda. If you ever wondered what the military term guerrilla warfare or guerrilla tactics meant, you should experience this park. Your visit here will not only challenge you, but you will be contributing to the conservation of this beautiful African piece of nature and to the livelihood and feed thousands of people who live across this community and who owns 10% of the proceeds they make here. Gifty Andopia, JoyNews, Musanze, Rwanda.
Well, that is how we wrap up the news for another morning. When we come back, it is the News Review. Up next on the AM Show. Do stay.
And this is an advocacy for employment of persons with Down syndrome. We'll have a beautiful conversation today. I have two parents and a child. They will be joining me, or I will be joining them, so we can have a conversation about this subject. That's usually sometimes people mix it up with autism. There is a big difference. And so we'll be sharing with you the story of Down syndrome. And these parents are open, so you can ask them whatever it is that you want to ask them. There's one common thing, though, that you realize. Most of the mothers, the men have left them. Yeah. Simply because they gave birth to children with Down syndrome. So we'll talk about the challenges. We'll share with you the beautiful stories. One of my guests, Debbie Ben, she has a 7-year-old and he's growing beautifulully. He's able to read and she's sharing some of the videos with us to encourage
is it Debbie
all
Mangote?
of us. Yes.
Debbie Mangote.
Yes. You've engaged her on radio.
She's a friend, actually.
Okay.
And,
okay.
I know a lot about Debbie and how she's managed the situation. She's so proud of her, her little one, and she's always sharing on Facebook. And I'm so inspired by her story. I took some time, many years ago. I've told you I have an affinity for children. I worked with one of these special schools, and from people with autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, all of them. Sometimes you just need to engage them. And no matter your love, you just get deeper into them and you'd realize, wow, they are brilliant.
Absolutely.
And we
Echo, get one of those reading videos for me, okay? Let's get it ready so I can share a bit about her son reading, and he's a fantastic guy. So there's a beautiful lady who will also be joining the conversation. There's Agnes and Debbie sharing their stories with us. Yeah.
So I'm very happy we're doing this today because we need to sensitize. And some parents, have children. Once they see certain features, they think, oh, this one, and they become pariahs, outcasts in society. Some of them are not educated because parents they are shy to take them to school and all of that. Today, hopefully, we can address all of those issues.
Absolutely. But before we get into that, I have a dedication. If I don't do this, my boys will kill me. They said, Mommy, don't come home if you don't do it. And that's because their music teacher, Mr. Benjamin Amuzu, is celebrating his birthday today. And I've been tasked, whatever it takes, to wish you, sir, a happy, happy birthday today. So Mr. Benjamin Amuzu, music teacher of Villac International School, New Achimota. Happy, happy birthday to you, sir. I think it's incredible that your children keep talking about you every day. And what you say, they remember. I thank you for taking care of them and for sharing your love for music with these young ones as well. So happy birthday to you, sir. If you know him, please give him a call. It's his birthday today. Okay, man.
You could have given me an extended birthday shout. Because when you said Benjamin and then you started, I was thinking, okay. And then you went to Muzu. Mr. Amuzu, happy birthday.
Read this.
Happy birthday to you.
Ben, read this.
In my next life, I'll teach music. You go shy.
Yeah, read this. Read this.
Wish Mr. Oh, I like the way you should see how they spelled Benjamin.
Yeah.
Actually, they've murdered my name. They spelled it Bengaman. Okay.
But just read it to the end. Read it out loud.
Wish Mr. Benjamin Amuzu a happy birthday on News Tomorrow. Please, and do not forget.
Yes.
And when children get like that, it's a palpable threat.
This was left on the dining table. So, Mommy, don't forget. That's the place that I remember.
The reminder. So who wrote this one? Which one of them?
This is the last one.
How old is he?
He's 7.
7.
Yes.
You know what time it is. But Mama V, I can't skip this before we get into the papers. You see, while some teams are signing Brazilians, among others, some people whose coaches are putting certain things on.
Why is he talking for me? First of all, I am wearing this because I'm proud to be a Phobian. And often I talk about Accra Hearts of Oak.
1911.
And I thought, let me express the love. So if you're a Phobian, you certainly are a proud one.
You should have.
Please.
You should have let me know we're doing. I would have matched you boot for boot on that level.
Go to the Phobian office. You see, because we're not loud mouths. Like we don't need to be loud. Announce what we.
The most popular club in Africa. One of the most, in terms of titles. We have the biggest fan base. You want to dispute any of that? You can't dispute it.
Can I talk about Hearts of Oak for a minute? Thank you.
The bones are rotten.
Never say die.
The bones are rotten.
So Accra Hearts of Oak, we understand we're going through some difficulties right now. We recorded a lot of COVID-19 cases in the camp. We got a ban because people simply would not stick to the COVID protocols. But we are good. We have an amazing coach. Mr. Samuel Boedu is our new coach. They call him Pep. He's a fantastic man.
How about the former one who went doing some things?
Ben, can I talk about Hearts of Oak?
But is he not part of Hearts of Oak?
Do you know that the satellites, those group of guys who brought us glory, and he said they gave us a gift on the match. Do you know that the captain is a Phobian? He plays for Accra Hearts of Oak.
Is it only the captain who was on the pitch? Was it only the captain on the pitch?
Oh, these Kotoko people, they make nationals. Meanwhile, I'm talking about Hearts of Oak. But what I'm saying is,
Just because of Togbe Afede, I'll let it slide.
Forget about what people like Ben say and love your club. Go to the office, buy a souvenir, buy a shirt, buy something and support the club. We really don't care what they say. Okay, we just love.
On that one, I support you.
Phobia.
Let's as we buy the Man U jerseys and the Tottenham and others. Let's
be proud with our
local clubs. Charlie, bro, it's not easy. Let's support them.
Yeah. Listen. We will sail through. I think we're like 5th on the table or whatever it is, but I actually don't care where we are on the table. I like the fact that we have great management managing the team and there's great prospects ahead. But there's another reason I like Hearts of Oak is because it speaks to me in terms of never say die until the bones are rotten. Like it just gives you hope to keep living. So if you're a proud supporter of Hearts of Oak, let's do it. Okay, let's jump into the newspapers.
Before we get
Ben, we are not talking about Hearts, lah.
No, we're not going to talk about Hearts. You are Aya, aren't you?
I'm a Fia. Afi. I'm actually Afi.
Afi.
This is my day.
Okay. This is my day too, interestingly. Oh, okay. So my day was yesterday, I should say.
See?
You are a Friday. That's why you are Afi.
Now you want to come to Hearts?
Fifi. Shouts to Fifi Kumsen and all of those. But the significance of day names, it would amaze you, some of the dig-outs I've been doing.
Yeah.
It's interesting, our day names. And why, for example, we would call Chediampo Kwame? Why tie him to a Saturday? One of the interesting things I found out about why we've been saying Akwesi Bruni. Because one of the reasons, apparently, during the days of colonialism, they were always in some uniform, but on Sundays they would don white. And so people said, oh, okay, so these are the Akwesi people, Akwesi Bruni, and all of that.
Not because of Yabrofofo.
Oh, so on Sundays, because they changed their dressing from the one for the regular week, this came up. And we've all been saying it, Akwesi Bruni and all of that.
And we say without understanding what it is. People say about Friday bonds, they say we are a bit difficult, like Yasemiye Dimbisa, that kind of thing. Yeah. Is it
true or not, though? Because sometimes, like the Thursday bonds, you look at what they say about us, we are kind, we are nice people, we're smart, and usually, though, we can take a lot, but when we get inflamed, it's not and it resonates with me, like it's spot on.
Okay, well, I don't know if, those blanket things they say about us in terms of
usually cuts across.
But what I do know is that I am straight to it. Like I will say it as it is. So if you say we are straight to the point, I would agree with you. If you say yes, I think I can be pretty difficult sometimes, but I'm easygoing. Yeah.
So apart from Afi, do you have any other name? Apart from Yao, I have Mauvi.
Jigbodi.
Okay, so Mauvi and you are Jigbodi?
Yeah.
Okay. Patience.
Yes, but I'm not. Honestly, that's why I don't use it.
Caught on camera. Please record this one and we'll play back and play back. So she's confessed on live TV. So that's why you don't use your Jigbodi?
No.
Ekekavo.
I think my mother wanted to calm me, but
Yeah, but went to me. Nah. So let's, in the course of the show, we'll get into that. Your name, do you know how significant it is? Do you know the origins and what it stands for? I hear for us Thursday borns, we have something to do with the earth. And each day of the week has some explanation to it, which makes some, reason. We'll be digging into all of that
because I don't know Jack.
I'll check out yours and I'm sure I'll find some interesting things.
Please do.
But this is where, again, I pause for effect right before we dig into the papers.
Charlie, this is your pause for effect. I can't get over it.
Someone should make Osechi Mensabonsu, my friend.
No, I think Patrick Gomez should do the pause for effect thing,
He should play back from the budget reading. This is where we pause for effect.
I didn't say that, though. I only said that he can do something.
When they call me there, will you be there to help me?
Let's do the newspapers,
I have the Ghanaian Times, Business and Financial Times, the Ghanaian Publisher, Daily Dispatch, Daily Statesman, Charlie, all the dailies, the Daily Searchlight as well this morning. What do you have?
Daily Graphic, the Final, Daily Guide, Republic Press are the papers that I'll be doing.
Okay, so let's start from your end.
All right, Daily Graphic it is then. Front page at Ghana Year Book Launch. Maintain Leadership. Speaker inspires graphic. That's the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagman, who's urged the Graphic Communications Group Limited to maintain its leadership role in the media industry to help deepen the democratic credentials of the country. So big ups to Graphic. Double track offers hope to senior high schools as first-year student report. So there's been a change. Initially, the Ghana Education Service was very convinced that they were not going to do double track for the new students who were going to school. But they made a big U-turn in a press statement yesterday. They said no. They've had to backtrack because of advice from their health experts. So now the first-year student will be doing double track, but not all schools. So I guess parents will be learning a lot more.
Let me tell you, it's not just health concerns. Yesterday, for example, I was speaking to someone who has her ward going to Achimota School. I will not narrate the circumstances, but this boy is going to Achimota School. And supposedly, and I'm open to correction, they were supposed to take about 900. I hear they are hitting 1,200 already.
Oh.
So you may say you don't want double track, but looking at the numbers that are hitting the schools, and the other day I was talking about protocols and all of that in one of the papers, you have, some 300 plus more. How are you going to, facilitate their stay in the school? Where are you going to accommodate them? This boy I'm talking about is going to be a boarder. So there are real circumstances, apart from even health reasons, that would necessitate maybe double track for the Form 1s as well.
My only criticism, though, is that you were running double track and you indicated to us that this will phase out gradually. We didn't force you to come and announce to us that you're in doing double track, with this batch of students going. I just feel that we should know what we're communicating from the very beginning, because this is the time. Yesterday, students were already going to school.
Yeah.
People were reporting.
Yeah.
Now you're going to be putting them in tracks. And so if you've bought everything and your child is going this trip and it turns out that, he or she will not be part of this batch, it means that you're reversing everything that you've done. So let's communicate what we intend. After all, the second wave, we were already experiencing it even before the announcement was made. So I just wish that the Ghana Education Service would not be doing this to us, but they can communicate from the very beginning their intention.
Quick
so
one,
we can all
Mama.
be clear on that.
Again, back to Achimota School. I read the story. What do you think? Do you have problems with people wearing certain hairdos to school?
So this is the Rastafarian.
The locks, two of them that were turned away from Achimota School.
Whose son they said they will not allow because of the hairdo. I think he wants to go the legal way. He quotes the Constitution to back it, because every child has a right to education. You're entitled to your culture. And if that's how, in your culture, you must express yourself, that's your right.
Yeah.
I just feel that schools will not allow this to come to this point. We can compromise. You can say, okay,
but
you can keep your restaurant,
is that
but you can cover it up.
Because that is a form of wearing your hair.
Yes.
In a natty form, leaving your hair kinky. You remember in South Africa, this came up with some women who were being discriminated against at some point. I think it was South Africa. And in fact, there's this Chief Justice, I just forget the country. It's one of those central or getting to Eastern African countries. I don't know whether it's Tanzania, Uganda, Zimbabwe, but one of them. And he's sporting, locked hair. I'm not saying it's the norm. Growing up in secondary school, you wouldn't dare do that.
Because
but I'm asking, how progressive are we on that front? Because nowadays you see 2-3-year-olds and their hair is locked. And if that person has done this for their entire lives, and I'm just imagining the shock or the sort of feeling or trauma even, when you tell them, if you want to school, then you must cut off your hair. I don't know, but I think somehow we must progress on that.
Yeah, and I just hope that the Achimota School, instead of just saying right there that we can't admit you. I mean, can you say somebody that I can't admit you because of your hair?
When in fact I qualify.
Yeah. I mean, what's the...
And I've been placed in that school.
The fact that I've been placed means that the system was not looking at my hair or my looks. It placed me there because I'm qualified. Now you say you will not allow me in the school because of my hair. I just feel like they could have compromised. And have a hair covering, or maybe the hair should be at a certain level or something like that. But when you do it this way, everybody begins to, we know your business.
Exactly.
And then you can have people getting up and saying, oh, me too, this is my culture. This is this, this is this, this is this. On the other issue is that you're going to go to court. And because this is borders on human rights, it's going to drag. In the meantime, what would the boy do? You see? So there's this other story in the Daily Graphic newspaper about more suspects busted in baby stealing syndicate. Investigators' life threatened. 7 more persons have been arrested in connection with the harvesting of babies and human trafficking in some health facilities in the Greater Accra region. This brings the number of suspects arrested in connection with the case to 8, while 3 babies have been rescued following a joint operation by IOCO and the Ghana Medical and Dental Council. Those arrested comprise the head of neonatal intensive care units of the Tema General Hospital, Nelly Tego, 2 caregivers based in the United States of America, identified as Florence Aqua and Eleanor Oforincia, a social welfare worker at the Tema General Hospital, Nancy Obaya Frimpong, an aunt of a teenage girl whose baby was sold, and a couple who sold their baby at the Tema General Hospital. Here, there's a couple sold their baby. So earlier, 2 medical doctors, 4 nurses, 2 mothers, 2 social welfare officers, and a traditional birth attendant were arrested. All the suspects are currently on IOCO inquiry bail while investigations continue. The babies, who are all boys, were offered for sale between 30,000 Ghana cedis and 28,000 Ghana cedis, while one of the buyers was said to have made part payment of $2,500 for one of the babies. Currently, the babies, who are named Joy, Kwesi, and Yamiche by their buyers, are in foster homes pending the final determination of the case. And a bit about the threats. This is IOCO's executive director speaking to the press. He said officials of the 2 agencies undertaking investigations had received threats on their lives from some faceless persons. But he stated, we are unperturbed about the threats of death on the lives of the investigative team. We will continue to collaborate to protect public health and safety by preventing and detecting organized crime. Hey. Oh, I think that the Ghana Medical and Dental Council have also indicated that they want to change some of the protocols. You know, in some public health facilities, if not all, when a baby dies, they don't show the baby to you. They just tell you that your baby didn't survive, and that's the end of the case.
I told you that's the story
protocols,
of someone I know from years back.
Yeah.
But you have every duty to let the person have access. Some even want to, the woman usually wants to see the baby, maybe hold the baby for one last time before you go in. You can't just go and say, I've cremated your baby, or I buried the baby, especially when you can't even give me evidence of that.
There are some people who don't want to, but I agree, you need to. I mean, it's not even like I agree.
Gives you some
it should
closure.
Be the standard.
There is some closure.
You should inform them. You should give them the option. Your baby didn't survive. Would you like to see the baby? You know? You should, there should be that.
And, you know, I just don't get it. You're making money off selling a human being.
Charlie.
How different are you from those who enslaved people?
30,000 Ghana cedis, 28,000 Ghana for a life.
The life of a human being.
For a life.
People will answer questions. I mean, we all shall have questions to answer, but really, I think some things, when you go there, you just become something else.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's dig into the Ghanaian Times newspaper. And government to construct 5 interchanges in Ashanti region. We've heard the sector minister, after many complaints in that region, talking about more development when it comes to roads in that region. NLA commends KGL technology for financial bailout. 449,000 Ghanaians receive COVID-19 vaccine jabs. The last time I spoke with Dr. Siedu, he mentioned that apart from, Morocco, we were second in terms of numbers, but hopefully we can sustain that drive. IOCO nabs 3 more baby harvesters, and Asemnaya critical. We need to deal with it. When you turn to page 3, woes of pastor involved in enlistment scam deepen, and the pastor accused of posing as a police sergeant and swindling 4 people of 16,059 Ghana cedis under the pretext of helping them to get enlisted into the Ghana Police Service, was on Wednesday charged with defrauding a fifth person of 7,200
I think people are
cedis.
Coming forward because they've realized that he's been arrested. Some people perhaps didn't even know, even when he was arrested, that he was fake.
So the pastor allegedly defrauded this businessman after they both traveled on the same bus to a funeral in Nigeria sometime in May 2020. So already on your hua or the background, take a crowd. So that's what. And now the law too says, oh, sir, the long arms of the law have caught up with him. Minority threatens to reject 2021 budget. That's on page 4. But on page 5, the international bid. I have sad news for you, Mama V. Tanzania's president. Magufuli is gone. He's, love him, hate him. When he came to power, even before he came to power, the sort of things he had done, scrapping the Independence Day celebrations at a point, saying it was a waste of money. He's done some things that may be, in human rights terms, yes, problematic, but I feel he's one of the best leaders we've had in Africa in recent times.
I think we loved his style until the COVID denial thing and all the rumors and the reports that they were arresting people who sort of said, oh, he had gotten COVID, he went to Kenya. We still didn't know clearly what he was being treated for, except that when the vice came to announce his death and said, it was complications of a heart condition.
And that's what COVID does. When it gets into your body, it accentuates all the negative things. All the negatives. If it's hypertension, if it's diabetes, whatever it is, it brings it to the fore. And that's why the disease is so dangerous. It's a bit akin to HIV, which also messes up with your immune system. But interestingly, with Magufuli, he was one of Africa's most prominent coronavirus skeptics and called for prayers and herbal-infused steam therapy to counter the virus. Look, I would just say, if you can, and as many as we can now that we have the vaccines, go and get them. Go and get them. Protect yourself. You want to steam, you want to do all those other things, no problem. But get the vaccine. Okay?
And when you have a leader, like when you have the person at the top communicating that,
it creates problems.
Saying, turn to prayers. Prayers are good. Listen, that's the number one thing you should do. But doctors and the researchers, the scientists, are we saying God didn't create them? I mean, we all have our
science,
gifts.
Even in the Bible,
we all have
it is
our
there.
Gifts. And so
it is in the Bible.
So it's unfortunate. I mean, I love the fact that he was so radical. I mean, very unpredictable. But Sam, our producer, says his death was a mega folly death? Mega folly. It's unfortunate. It's sad, really.
Maybe this last one I'll touch on because it's also tied to AstraZeneca, and then we can move on. African countries temporarily suspend AstraZeneca vaccine. And I'll just summarize. DR Congo took stock of 1.7 million. They were going to vaccinate about 20% of their population, but it appears they are stalling the process, and a few other countries are doing same. On the other hand, we heard yesterday Lithuania, Latvia, and other countries restoring the process. So I don't know what science is behind these African countries, because let's face it, when it comes to susceptibility, vulnerability to the virus, we are more vulnerable. Looking at our health systems and all of that. So I don't know what the rationale is, but I'll say when you have the opportunity, go and get the jab. The time is coming for me to go for my second one, so I'll do that. On the back page, Catholic Relief Services contribution to development loaded. Let's check out the other papers.
The Finder is the next newspaper. On the front page, NLA is silent on how 1.1 billion Ghana cedis was spent in 6 years. Malaria and respiratory tract infections, hypertension, top OPD cases in Accra. And then this issue, my meeting with party executives in Kumasi was to address party issues. Dr. Efriye Akoto is rejecting the fact that, well, I don't know if it's a fact, but that was what was said, that he had met some people in the Ashanti region.
He says those things never happened.
To announce his bid to be flag bearer of the party, but he said he did not. There's also another angle that you find on myjoyline.com. I think one of the papers also says he said he was recovering from a fever or something like that. And yeah.
I think, let me see. There was one.
There's a story on Down syndrome, the conversation that we're having, you know, the UN Day is on Sunday, and we're having it today because we won't be here on Sunday. But there's a mother, and this is in the final on page 5. There's a mother who broke down when her daughter was born with Down syndrome. She's advocating for babies born with the condition to be treated as normal children. She says she felt like dumping her child. And you can feel her pain because usually, sometimes, even when you want to keep the child, society makes you feel, you've given birth to, you know, something that, or someone that ought not to have been given birth to. And that's it. Society sometimes feeds you with the negative thinking, which is very unfortunate. Just pause for effect. So let's just watch the video of Debbie's 7-year-old. I am so passionate about this one. Pet.
Pet.
It.
It.
Is.
Is.
A.
Nap.
Pop.
Pop. The. Nap.
Pop.
Pop. Run. In. Wet.
Mud.
Mud. Mom. God. Rag.
Good job.
Mom. Net. Down. Run.
Rub.
The. Nap.
Pop.
Hop.
Pop.
Pop.
Good job.
Down. Act. Bat.
Put.
Put. The.
Pop.
Pop on the bed.
Good job.
The. Nap.
Pop.
Pop.
Hat.
Hat.
Good job.
Nap.
Nap. Well done.
Done. Red. The.
Yeah. That's
so
incredible. Cute. But you know, you also appreciate the work involved, and you've got to be there. Unfortunately, the system gives zilch support to such parents.
In fact, a lot of schools don't even have mechanisms to take care of.
They will not even admit you.
Such children.
Yeah.
So you see the stigmatization, the pushing away of these people. But maybe to wrap, since we're talking education and children, something else that I've seen with the textbooks now is Shatawale. It's not a problem if Shatawale is in one of the textbooks. I mean, generally, NACA may say it has not approved all of these textbooks, but you have a Shatawale song and they're talking about Shatawale and all of that. Back in the day, we were talking about batik, tie and dye. We're talking about bead making. Some of these things we're talking about now when it comes to Ghana Month. So I'm just asking myself, you know, if this is the kind of system, when I start having children, obviously, I think I'll not be allowing them to, God willing, attend some of the schools we have in our system and use some of these textbooks, because I'm sorry, it is trash that we have in a lot of these textbooks. And they are in the system. And NACA will come and tell you we didn't approve them and this and that, but it's sheer nonsense. It beats my imagination.
Yeah.
Is this what our kids should be learning in this day of technology and all these developments? I'm sorry, no denigration of Shatawale, but what a Shatawale song and it's the, you know, the patois and all of that, what the hell?
We should be given a lot of responsibility also to the schools, You know, it's just like those salespersons for the drug manufacturers, those who manufacture medicines. They go out there to lobby. I mean, they go and tell doctors, they meet doctors and pharmacists and they tell them about the drugs and essentially try to communicate how effective the drug is so that they can prescribe it. It is not by force. If I introduce a product to you, you must not, okay, I have to pause for effect. You must not necessarily prescribe it for the children to buy or for parents to buy. I have to pause for effect for the love of great hearts of oak. Anas Sabits. Charlie, you're on a good side, man. But I got a message from Papa called Akwe. But I don't want to read it. I really don't want to read it.
Are you reading the message?
No, I am not.
Or not?
Papa call.
Can I see that message?
I ain't reading it.
Can I have it?
I ain't reading it. Pause for effect. Patrick didn't say we should go. Aha. So please, let's go.
Hello, good morning and welcome to the AM Sports with me, Oreku Wampofo. Well, we do have a lot in store for you, and we'll be showing you a feature on Hans Kofi. That's the new Legon City striker. Remember, the Ghana Premier League transfer window closed at midnight, and perhaps he has been one of the biggest transfers for this second transfer window. So we'll be speaking to him about how come he moved from, Ashko that were close to the top of the table to Legon Cities who were struggling at the bottom. But before we do that, yesterday evening, there was news about the Black Star squad, and let's just quickly run through that squad released by CK Akono ahead of the qualifiers, against Sao Tome and Principe, and then South Africa as well. And you can see there from the list, goalkeepers would be Richard Ofori, Razak Abalora, Eric Ofori, Entry, and then Danlad Ibrahim. In terms of fullbacks, we have Abdul Babaraman, Gideon Mensah, Benson Nanan, and Philemon Bafo, who is from the under-20 team. For central defenders, Nicolas Opoku, we have Kasim Nuhu, Ismail Ganu of Asante Kotoko, and then we have Stephen Ambrosius for Hamburg. In midfield, Kudus Mohammed, who plays for Ajax, Mubarak Wakaso, Efri Akwa, Emmanuel Lomote, Idrisu Baba of Mallorca, Gladson Awako, Kwame Efri Poku in Colchester, England. And then left attacking midfielder Osman Bukari, Joseph Esso of Dreams FC, Kamal Sowa would be joining the squad as well. He's making his debut. We have Fatau Isaaku, who won the MVP award at the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations. Emmanuel Boateng, Emmanuel JC, Kwame Poku, John Entry, Kwesi Otre-Reid, and then Kalebe Kuban lead the line for the Black Stars. So certainly that's the squad that would be representing Ghana, and that would be the Black Stars team, which would be facing South Africa and then Sao Tome to try and secure qualification to the Africa Cup of Nations, which takes place next year in Cameroon. But there was also some interest in Europe yesterday evening in terms of results, as the Europa League did conclude for the round of 16 stage. Molde beating Granada there, but losing essentially on aggregate as the Spanish team went through. Jose Mourinho, he wasn't a happy man. He blew a 2-goal lead, losing 3-0 against Dynamo Zagreb. So Tottenham Hotspur essentially out of the Europa League. Arsenal, despite losing the second leg, also qualified to the quarter-final stage, and Roma comfortably brushed aside Shakhtar Donetsk. Steven Gerrard's Rangers also crashed out to Slavia Praha, as an impressive away performance from Manchester United saw them qualify to the quarter-final stage. And then we have Villarreal beating Dynamo Kiev. And interestingly, Rangers' loss was the first time that they're losing this season under Steven Gerrard. And Mohamed Kudus' Ajax also comfortably through to the quarter-final stage, winning 5-0 on aggregate. Well, that was Europa League action, but remember, there's also Champions League interest today, because we'll be finding out the parents for the quarter-final stage of the Champions League, who would be meeting who, and it's going to be an interesting one, certainly, with quite a number of big clubs, in the draw as well. You can see Bayern Munich, Chelsea, Dortmund, Liverpool, Manchester City, Paris Saint-Germain, Porto, and then Real Madrid as well. We're bringing you updates of that draw on midday, our midday bulletin as well. And then you can also follow us on social media at JoySportsGH to get the latest of that draw. Let's come back to the Ghana Premier League, where one of the biggest transfers of the second transfer window, Hans Kofi, he moved from Ashford, who at the time were fighting for the title and joined Legon Cities, a team that were just in and around the relegation zone. Now, Kofi spoke to Joy Sports talking about what motivated him to move to Legon Cities and how life at his new club is now. How does it feel like to be a Legon Cities player?
Oh, the feeling is great. I'm so happy to join this club. A big family like us, Legon City. I'm so excited to be here.
You're first at Legon, Ash Gold, where you were enjoying yourself. You had scored 5 goals. First off, let's talk to how the whole moves came about. When you heard that Legon Cities were after you, what were you thinking at that point?
I was thinking where they were at the position they were at the league table and their performances and the players there. Am I going to, call with them and bring the good team to show? I think, and the coach here is a good coach that I've worked with him before, so I know he's gonna help me. So I was thinking a lot, then I found a conclusion that I have to join them because they are a good side and they have a better team too. So maybe my coming here will help. So I talked to my brothers and my wife and everything. They also advised me to move, so I moved.
Okay. We'll come to Coach Hayford, Bashi Hayford, who you've worked with. But you did state that at the point where you were coming, Legon Cities were around, the relegation zone, and then Ash Gold were much closer to the top. How hard was it a decision, moving from a team at the top to a team that was down there?
It was hard, and I have to make that decision for myself because I want to prove myself to Ghanaians and to my fans that I can make it. Not be alone, but to deal with the team to make it as move Legon City from where they are to a better position. And I think my coming here is also proving a point that you can make it. So it's good.
Now, you've been here for about 2 weeks. In your first game, you scored. When that goal went in, what was going through your mind?
Oh, I was so happy. I was so excited because before the game, I was talking to the guys that you need to win, and they were giving me positive energy, like you win. So I said, no, if you want to win, what I will do to help to score, because I'm an attacker and everything I have to do on the field is to score for them to be happy. So going through my mind, I have to score, and God being so good to me, I get an equalizer for them. So I was so happy.
You speak of being an attacker and having to score goals. How has it been like, playing with Ash Gold midfielders, and then 1 week later you're playing with Legon Cities midfielders who you don't even know, and you've been able to settle in so quickly? What's been the difference? Is it that you just know how to be at the right place at the right time?
Not me per se, but I think the players know how and when I need the ball and the way I'm running through. That's what I think, because the midfielders are very intelligent. As good midfielders are very intelligent, and I can say Legon Cities too. They have intelligent midfielders, good passes of the ball, so it makes my movement on the field of play so easy for me. And in the front of the post, if you can watch our games, they pinpoint me. Every goal that I scored, they pinpoint. I was at the right position at the right time for the good pass to score. So I would say they are doing good to help me to also become a fantastic player.
Let's talk about Coach Bashi Hayford. You've worked with him before. First off, did he call you to join Legon Cities?
No, he didn't call me per se. I would say Legon City contacted me, let's say, the first 2 games I played with Ashanti Good, home match, and after the Accra full game, I had a call that this is what they were. So I said, okay. They haven't contacted me yet, but somebody told me that Legon City needs me. I said, no one has called me. So let me keep quiet and just see what. So on the course of the game, on the month or 2, I had a call from them that this was going on. Already, champion already have told me this was. I told champion, yeah, if they right, I would like to go. I want to go because I want to I'm going to chase another opportunity, so let me go. So he gave me the chance. We talked well, and the move was so fantastic.
How difficult was it to say goodbye to Ashgold, the team that you had joined last year, and you seem to have been, finding your feet and scoring a lot of goals?
It was very difficult. Yeah, so it was very difficult, but it's not my will. I have to move because it's my job. Let me say it's my I don't know what to say. It's something that I like to do. I want to be with a place that people will just feel happy. So I wanted to move to Lagos City to also make it with the guys and see. So the fans there were like a bit worried. That is what gave me sadness whenever I see them suffering. Like maybe when they lose a game, then they start calling me. We went and they are, so I said no. I feel bad, but I have to change my career as well. So I have to move on.
You sound like you still have an emotional connection with Ashgold. You watch their matches and check out their results. If you are to play against them this time with Lagos City and you score, do you think you will celebrate that goal or you would show them your respect?
That one, I have to show my respect to them because I love the team dearly. I love them. Just that I've moved on doesn't mean that there is something between me and them. We are very good. We have very good connection. And I think I have to show that respect to them.
But back at Ashgold, you won the Gold King, that's 2017, with Coach Bashi Hayford, who is your coach right now. What do you remember from that season working with Bashi Hayford? And how did he help you, win that Golden Boot race?
I think that people call him coach, by me I call him dad because he knows me very well. He brought me up from Midema. I think he brought Kesmint and found me at Midema, so he knows me very well. Yeah, so it's not difficult for me to gel with Bashi Hayford. That one is the fact because he knows me very well and he knows I can deliver for him. For that one, I didn't plus over there, but the team that I found myself in here as Lagos City are a very good team. I see them every day are very good passes of the game, of the ball. So it made my movement. So I'm happy to be here. To be honest, I'm very, very happy to be here.
And what do you remember from that 2017 season when you won the Golden Boot?
My 3 goals against Olympics.
Amos with his 1-E. Chance! What a goal! Hans Coffey certainly breaks the deadlock here. Fantastic goal! That is a mark of a great man and a great striker. Simply incredible with that strike there. Another ball lifted in, another control, and another goal! Oh, this is absolutely fantastic from Hans Coffey. He's having a day of days. This man is simply unstoppable. So they keep moving. That's Amos Sadayan, and this could be the 3rd goal. A hat-trick comes in the Premier League and goes to who? It's Hans Coffey. He gets the first hat-trick in the Premier League this season, and really what a day he's having in this competition and this game against Great Olympics.
It wasn't something that I would say magic because I told them I'm going to score 3 and it happened. So I was like, wow, you can encourage yourself to improve yourself. So everybody was here. You said it, you made it. You said it. So that match every day on the field I remember it. And I say, oh, so it gave me more confidence to fight and fight hard.
Speaking of Gold King, this season you are still in the race. You're on 8 goals. Only Joseph Vesso and then Diawisi Taylor ahead of you. There are 2 goals ahead. Is there something that you're thinking about, that Golden Boot?
Even me winning the Gold King, it wasn't my target. To be honest, it wasn't my target. Me, I always want to be a team player, like winning a trophy for the club to remember me always. So coming here, I want to, take representation from the position that you are to be a better position, maybe 3rd or 4th, 2nd, for us to play top 4. I'll be happy that way. Or change the FA Cup, win the trophy for Lagos City, so that my name will be here. Hans Coffey was the part of the team that took the FA Cup trophy. So I'll be happy. But Gold King is not my target. But I'm an attacker, so if it comes, I'm there to score goals. So if after the season I've been the Gold King, that one is a plus for me. But mine is to help Lagos City to achieve what they want to achieve.
Let's move away from competition, outside the team and come to competition inside the team. I know you're a striker, and Legon Cities have quite a number of strikers. From Rafael Klu, they had the likes of Richmond Lintry, they have you, and then they have Asamoah and so and a few others. How is it like, competing in a team that has so many strikers and everyone wants to get a chance to prove themselves?
It's not easy. The only thing is how to determine, train hard, and make my mindset to play and play good every match that I play. I know you have very good players, so I wouldn't sit back and say you have good players, so I will look forward for them to play, and I will be sitting there and watching. No, I have to train hard and I also prove my points to be a good player. Maybe they also see me, Hans is here, so they have to also train. So if I sit back, they will train and come and sit me at the bench, so I have to also train hard and prove myself.
We looked at the strikers that you're competing with, and one of them is Asamoah, and he's a big name in Ghana football. We all know what he's achieved. How does it feel like to have, someone like Asamoah as a team?
It's very fantastic. My coming here was one of the reasons why I wanted to play with him, because I was very for so many long time. Like, he was my role model. I would say whenever I see him playing, I'm very happy. So coming to play with him was very good feeling for me. So even I would say it's a memorable start for me to be here to play with Asamoah. So it's great to be here, play with him as well.
And so far, how has he welcomed you to the team?
Yeah, everybody, not him alone. Everybody here welcomed me fantastic. And you see me to be as old player here, but I just came in just 2 weeks. But I'm mingling with them, we play, we have fun every time, every day. So I think this family is a very good family, and I'm happy to be here.
So far, you have 3 goals in 2 games, your first 2 games for Legon Cities. For you, what's the personal target? Are you looking to score in each game now? Or, what are you looking at as a player? 20 goals, 15 goals? What are you setting yourself up for?
I have my target. When I was at Assassin Good, I targeted to score 25 goals. I wrote them down. Every match that I play and score, I just go and write them down. But small injuries and so I wasn't playing matches. But I'll start from here. So, and I know I have good players here, and I have good, intelligent players here who will help me out. So, not much. And the team have also given me a target of 18 in Legon, so I have to achieve it. So, I'm preparing myself to work it.
So, Askofi, we are celebrating Ghana Month on Joy, and we just want to get to know about your cultural roots and where you come from and all that. First off, where do you come from in Ghana?
I come from the western part of Ghana, a village called Dompin Pepisa in Takwa. That's where I come from.
So, when was the last time you went back to your hometown?
Oh, early last week I was there. Last week, I think the weekend I was there. I spent the weekend over there. So.
It's a place you love to go?
Yeah, I love to go. That's where my family is. My wife and kids are there, so I always pay them visit over there whenever I have the small chance.
So growing up over there, how was it like?
The feeling is great. Yeah, it's very great feeling when you are coming up with your friends and family members. But this job, whenever I learn to be there, you go somewhere and play, travel outside and stuff. So whenever I come down, the little chance I have to be there, and I'm enjoying with my good friends.
But back there in the Nzima land, you guys speak Nzima, right?
Yeah, we speak a language called Pepisa.
Pepisa. Okay, how different is that from the Nzima?
It's similar to Nzima. When somebody is speaking Pepisa, you are Nzima, you will understand it, but some few words will miss.
So it's almost like Guy and Kobo?
Yes, something like that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, so teach us something small in Pepisa that we can also say.
Yeah, like let's go in Pepisa with him. Yeho.
So it's similar to Chi.
Yeah, so
Okay. So let's say watch JoyNews in Pepisa and let's see.
Benia JoyNews. Benia JoyNews.
Benia JoyNews.
And now, if you want to do it plural, Bemaya JoyNews. Bemaya share JoyNews.
Bemaya JoyNews. Okay, so Bemaya JoyNews.
Yeah.
And what are some of the foods that you eat growing up? Your favorite as well?
In Ghana, in our village, fufu is. Fufu is the best meal, but eat fufu. You can eat it in the morning, the evening, and afternoon. And rice and pound soup is also local food over there.
So which ones were your favorites?
Yeah, I like fufu. Yeah, fufu and pound soup.
Pound soup.
Yeah.
Did you like with meat or fish or?
Anyone goes. The only thing the fufu is there. It's okay. Any soup. Right.
So do you still eat fufu like after you play?
No. This fufu career I cannot always eat fufu. So once in a while. Yeah, but when I go home, like we have a long break, that one, I have to have fun to eat my fufu.
Okay. So how do you say goodbye in Pipisa?
Goodbye in Pipisa is goodbye in Pipisa. Hey, this man.
How do you say you are done? You are finished. You're down the street. Okay, so yeah.
It's like tree and
okay. Well, thank you very much for taking us back to your cultural roots.
Thank you too.
All the best.
Thank you.
That was Hans Kofi, who recently joined Legon Cities in the just ended second transfer window of the Ghana Premier League. Now, this was building up to the second round of the league, which would kick off early in April. My name is Oriku Wampof, and that's how we'll be wrapping up the sport here. You can get some more sports stories on my Joy Online /sports, or follow us on social media at JoySportsGH. The AM show continues right after this.
Akwaba, welcome back. Wezo on the AM show. Now, this morning, as intimated earlier, we're talking Down Syndrome Day 2021. It's Sunday, but today we're giving the spotlight to those who suffer Down syndrome, their families. We're telling the stories of children living with Down syndrome. What should we know? It's a live conversation with parents whose children have Down syndrome to inspire others with such conditions not to give up. And Mama Vio Usu Abwaji will be engaging some of these parents and the sufferers as well live on the AM show. Mama V, if you can hear me, and she is right at our forecourt, take it over from here.
Okay, Ben, thank you very much. And I want to welcome our viewers to our conversation on Down syndrome. I've got parents with children with Down syndrome. We'll try and make a fine distinction between Down syndrome and autism. That's one of the early things I learned to engage in Debbie yesterday. Let me welcome you to this conversation. Debbie and Agnes.
Thank you.
Okay. So you have Toda here. We will introduce Toda to the show in a little bit, but how old is she?
She's 10.
Okay. And she's your second child?
Yes, she is.
Okay. We will talk about the experiences in a bit. But maybe, Debbie, we should start by making the distinction first of all. What's the difference between autism and Down syndrome?
So, Down syndrome is a chromosomal abnormality, while autism is a neurological condition. So the two are definitely not the same. If someone has autism and you don't know, you don't have a trained eye to see the peculiar mannerisms, you will not even see that there is something wrong. But with Down syndrome, just the physical appearance, you would see the distinction from other people. So children with Down syndrome tend to, so let's go, I said chromosomal. Mama V, you have 46 chromosomes, 23 from your mother's egg and 23 from your father's sperm, making 23. Children like ours have 47. And the 47 is the, instead of having a pair of the 21st chromosome, they have 3 copies of the 21st chromosome. And it is that extra copy that gives the physical, developmental, and intellectual differences we see in persons with Down syndrome.
Okay. But we can also have a child with Down syndrome and autism as well.
Yes, yes. There has been cases where there has been dual diagnosis in children with Down syndrome. Some of them also, I wouldn't say develop, but are diagnosed with autism along the line. There are a few children who have been diagnosed with autism as well.
Okay. And I want us to now begin the experiences. So we will be, I'm coming to you, Agnes, so that you can share how you first discovered that Toda was a special needs child. At what points? Was it in the pregnancy when you gave birth?
It's when I gave birth. The first day I gave birth to her, the doctor examined her and he told me that he suspects that my daughter has Down syndrome. But because he was a gynae, he was going to ask the pediatrician to also examine her and confirm that really she has Down syndrome.
You must be one of the fortunate ones, because fresh baby doctor was able to tell that something may be wrong somewhere.
Yes, I would say I was very fortunate, because with the parents that we have, a lot of them, they don't know first like I did. So I was fortunate.
But how did you take the news?
I didn't know what Down syndrome is then. Even though I have seen children who I realized look like her. So I started asking every nurse that came around, what is Down syndrome? What is Down syndrome? So they explained that it's an extra chromosome, just like Debbie has said. So that is how I got to know what Down syndrome really is. But for me, it was a no, it cannot be me.
Debbie, let me ask about your experience. At what point did you realize that your child had Down syndrome?
I was equally, I got a postnatal diagnosis. When I gave birth, I mean, everything was normal. Pregnancy, the birth process, everything was normal. But then the hospital I gave birth at, they told me that it is mandatory that every child born there is examined by the pediatrician specialist before they are discharged. And so I gave birth Friday evening, and I was told the pediatrician doesn't work on Saturdays, but he has been called in. And when he came, he was examining my baby and was dropping words to the nurses like, this is a floppy baby, this is what we mean by hypotonia, and things like that. And then when I asked, is everything okay? He said, okay enough for you to go home. So fortunately for us, I love reading. So as soon as we got home Saturday evening, I started Googling hypotonia, floppy babies. And everything that came up was like my baby. But fortunately, we had neonatal jaundice on the 3rd or 4th day. So we went back to the hospital and I asked, Doc, I heard you dropping these words. I read, and this is what it shows. And he said, yes, but I see the gap between your first child and this child. There wasn't anything threatening his life. So I didn't want to take away the joy of childbirth from you right away.
Okay.
So yes, your child, if you put a gun to my head, I'll tell you your child has Down syndrome. But for your peace of mind, if you want us to do a test and confirm the type of Down syndrome, we can do that. And it took us about 3 months to find a lab that was willing to take the sample and transport out of Ghana for the confirmation.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what you're telling us right now is that Down syndrome is not just Down syndrome. You need to determine the type of Down syndrome.
Well, Down syndrome, yeah, there are 3 types.
Well, what's the importance of knowing as a parent the type of Down syndrome that your child has?
I think the importance of knowing is because if your child has what my child has, non-disjunction, it means it's random, you know, and it is the largest population of people who have Down syndrome is non-disjunction. But if you have the translocation, it means that you, the parent, or somewhere along your line, there is a carrier. You are a carrier.
Okay.
So you carry the gene and then it manifested in your child. However, if you have mosaic, it means that the 3 copies of the 21st chromosome are not on every cell in the body. they are on some cells. So the manifestation is not as somebody who has translocation or non-disjunction. Some of the people with mosaic, they look like you and I, but they may have intellectual disabilities. Like cognitively, you can see that they are delayed. So that is the difference. There are three types.
So you don't have anybody in your family, no record
as far as
of
I
any
know,
person with Down
as far
syndrome?
as I know, there isn't anybody. And like I said, my son's diagnosis is non-disjunction. So it's one of the random occurrences that you cannot explain.
Okay, let me ask Agnes, was there traits of it in your family?
No trait at all.
So at this point, were you blaming yourself? Were you asking what did you do wrong?
I wasn't blaming myself, but I didn't understand why my daughter should have Down syndrome. I also had her after 18 years of between the first and her. So, and I prayed. I prayed because I had married a man who would not give me peace until I give him a baby. So I resorted to prayer and I was praying and I found myself pregnant at 46. So it was an act of God. So God, why do you give me a baby without any facility treatment and she has Down syndrome? So I will not accept it. So close to 2 years I was living in denial. I lived in denial. Even though I was reading and I was trying to find out what Down syndrome is, no, I did not accept it.
At what point did you come to terms with, okay, this is my child, she has Down syndrome, and I have to deal with it?
Yes, a reverend minister in our church came to visit, and then I told her that they said my daughter has Down syndrome, but for me, minus me, I'm praying so God will change her. And she said yes, God can choose to change her situation, but what if God says no? This is the daughter I'm giving you, take her, what will you do? So then it dawned on me that yes, even though I'm praying, God can say no. This is the child I'm giving you. So what will I do? So then I said that yes, then I'll have to accept her, try and read to know how to help myself and also help her so that she can grow up very well.
Okay, and how has it been? She's 10 years already, so how has growing up, taking care of her, how would you sum it up?
It's not an easy journey bringing up a child with Down syndrome because every milestone delays. So you need to have a lot of patience, a lot of love and care for her, taking her to see the doctor at any. You see, a typical child can have a cold and you can treat it home, but not with a child with Down syndrome. You have to be extra careful with everything that you do with her so that she can grow up well.
Yeah. Debbie, one of the early things you said to me when we were having conversations before this final conversation is the fact that there are common traits or something that is common running through parents, mothers with Down syndrome. I want you to share some of it with us because you also have a support group.
Yeah. Thank you, Mama V. From my experience, my personal experience, I became a single parent as a result of my child's diagnosis. And interacting with, I have been very out there with my son and the diagnosis because I want to put a face to Down syndrome. There are perceptions that people have in society about children like ours, and I want to debunk those perceptions, and so I put a face, my son, everything there. But then the 7 or almost 8 years I have had my son, interaction with other parents, and what the common trend you see is that most of the mothers became single parents as a result of their child's diagnosis. And then you ask yourself, I did not determine the quantity of sperm to fertilize the egg I had. So why should I be punished for something I had no hand in? But these are some of the misconceptions about disabilities in our society. And so nobody wants to associate with a child with disabilities. And so, oh, minus me, like I said, or there's nothing like this in my family. And like we are saying, if you check my family as well, I think so far, or in recent history, I am the one who has a child with Down syndrome in my family, as far as we know. So how I cannot also say that there is nothing like that in my family and abandon the child. You understand me? So mothers without any option are left alone to handle these children with complicated health needs, as well as complicated educational needs. And they require a cohort of specialists and therapists to help them meet milestones and develop equally like their typical peers. So you ask yourself, and that is why I wouldn't want to keep quiet, because I need society to understand that as Debbie, I did not have a hand in determining that I have a child with Down syndrome. I have an older daughter who is typical, she's perfect in every way. That does not mean that my son is not perfect. He is perfect in his own 47 chromosome way.
That's right.
Do you understand me? So this is the common trend that we see amongst the parents, that man says it is not in my family, so they walk away.
Agnes, was that your story too?
Yes, yes. my husband and I got divorced because of Toda's condition. He blamed me for her condition, said it's my fault, so I should take care.
How is that your fault?
I don't know.
Ignorance.
Ignorance, yes, ignorance.
But you know, I guess we're looking back and talking about it now because you've moved on. Yes, but I'm not sure it was that simple at the time, because you know, here you are, this is a fresh child with Down syndrome, and you're now left alone to deal with it.
Yes, it was a difficult situation, and I had to battle it. Finally, I was faced with divorce, and the fact that I was going to get divorced, it was difficult. It took me 2 years to finally decide that divorce would be the best option. So then I went in for a divorce.
I read in the Finder newspaper, there's somebody who's also written, a parent who's also shared her story, where she says she felt like dumping her child. Debbie, you're quite strong, but have you always been like this? Have you always been like this?
You see how we are giggling?
We are talking before we went
live, we were talking about depression. Let me tell you, when I had my son, my daughter was in secondary school.
Michelle?
Yes, you know her.
Yes, because I read your blog. The International Women's Day message there, that was lovely.
Yes, yeah. Michelle was in secondary school, and to be honest, it got to the point that I considered double suicide for myself and my son. Yes. What? And the only thing that kept me was, I was thinking, how would Michelle go through her entire life with the burden of my mother killed herself and my brother? And that was what kept me, and I reached out for help, because I wrote about that as well, that a clinical psychologist who my son's pediatrician connected me to help me get out of that dark moment. I wrote a thank you note to her that she actually brought me from the brink of whatever, I don't know what that was. And it's because I have always been open about it. I was talking to my son's pediatrician one day, and then he asked me, "Where are you?" And I said, "I am at work." And he said, "Come to the clinic now." And I said, "But Dr. Danso, you don't work on this day." He said, "Yes, come now." I am in the consulting room. And when I went, he was not there. The clinical psychologist was sitting there. And when I saw her and she introduced herself, I just broke down and started crying. And it has, you know, there are things you want to share with the person you created this person with. And yet, because they have decided I don't care, you have to like internalize everything. And that is a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot, because my son has cold and you have to sleep in the hospital, be on admission for a day or 2 or 3 days. because if it's not managed properly, he could develop pneumonia. You know, just recently I was telling Agi, I thought my son had COVID because overnight this boy just transitioned, he couldn't breathe properly and everything. And on top of everything we have, he's diagnosed to be having asthma. You know, so it is a lot. It is a lot emotionally, it is a lot physically, it is a lot financially. And yet, this child is living, they are breathing, they are, you know, so you cannot ignore their needs. So, Mama V, I'm sorry, but I have never been that strong. It's just that I have been very vocal about it. Writing about it also helps me because it is an outlet to kind of pour some of the things out. Because clearly, I cannot share that with his father. He's just not interested. I cannot also share that it's not everybody who can relate and understand that this thing you are saying is you are not hyping it, you are not overreacting, but you know. I have a colleague who we went to visit, and my son was playing about the house, was with neighbors playing ball. And then when we were getting ready to go, Michelle went to bathe for him. When she came back, she said, Mom, Kofi is running a temperature. And I said, oh, just feed him and then we can go back home. When we were leaving my friend's house, I had my car's horn on because clearly it was an emergency now. We didn't go back home. We went from my friend's house to the hospital. And that friend keeps on saying, I am afraid of this boy. I don't want to see him. Because
one moment he's happy,
he's well,
okay.
And then before you can say it is an emergency and you have to quickly rush, you know. And the thing is also their pain threshold is very high. So by the time you realize something is happening, it is an emergency.
I see Agnes agreeing with you. So can I ask how strong you are, what kind of support you have, how do you channel all those frustrations?
I cry.
She's tearing.
Should I break the protocols and hug you? Yeah, sorry.
Aggie.
You cry?
Yes, I cry.
Which is healthy.
I cry. I remember after divorce, I told myself that I'll forgive him. But I realized that I had not forgiven him. Why do you have to do this to me? So then, a friend of mine told me, Aggie, you need help. You need somebody to talk to. So then he connected me to a pastor who also does counseling. So we did a series of meetings and sessions for about 3 months. And then finally, I was able to forgive him because I did not understand why you have to pressurize me to have a child. And then after having the baby, you tell me the baby has Down syndrome and it is from my family, it is my fault, and blah, blah, blah. So it was difficult. We are not as strong as we may seem to be. When we started, I was asking them, how many times do we get depressed in a year?
But at least you have each other.
Oh
yes, we do.
Yes,
we do. And just as Debbie is saying, she couldn't stand Michelle. The fact that Michelle would think that my mother and my brother died through suicide. My son will also tell me, Mom, you have to be strong for Toda. You don't have to be crying every day. Stay strong. She needs you strong.
How old is he?
He is 28. He's 28, and then he will be urging me on. He has been a source of support. Started Debbie when I met her. She's been so good to me. So it's Kobe. It's Kobe, and thanks to Kobe, we are, and he is also very interested in what happens to Toda. And it gives me a lot of encouragement and support.
Nice. Big brother and big sister.
Yes.
You know, I always say that somehow God doesn't give you something that you can handle. Or there's always something that comes through for you.
My sister will always say that. Mambo neno benye mape matro maha. Maha neno manye matro. Stateko manye matro Lord tro omanye tro. Yeah, she always tells me that God will not give me a burden I cannot carry. So because God knows that I can take good care of Toda, He gave it to me. So then I should.
Absolutely. I
But
probably would have done a very
you
poor
ask
job.
what God is thinking, because
Yes.
it is like,
yes,
oh man, this is not something for just one person to carry. It's a lot. It's a lot.
So tell me about the support group that you have. This is a group of women. Do you have men involved?
Yes, we have a few men, and Agi can talk to that.
Good that you talk.
Okay, she said that she's still tearing. Well, these are, the commonality we have is that we all have children with Down syndrome, and like I said, you have sister logs, we have sister logs, and that connected
all
us.
of you? Oh no.
No, not all the group, but
Okay.
I mean myself, Agi, and you.
Okay.
And that sort of was an icebreaker, that when we met you this morning, how come we all have something like this? Do you understand me? And so the icebreaker for us as a group is that we all have children with Down syndrome, and we all want the best for these children. They are here, and they will continue to be here. And so what we do is that we share experiences. So somebody used a certain strategy to get their child potty trained. We share it on the page, and people continue to, okay, let me do that. Somebody is, for instance, Agnes and I are now sharing how to get, Toda to be able to learn her phonics, how to learn to read, because like I said, I started very early because I just told myself, I love challenges. And when the fact that, okay, Debbie, there's nobody else, this is you. It's just you. And fortunately for me, the diagnosis came with the bare facts, where my pediatrician told me, Debbie, if you want your child to be a living thing, he would be a living thing. But if you want him to be a contributing factor in society, he can be. And it all depends on the efforts you put him and the resources you put into him. And once he told me that, I sat down, I cried at the enormity of resources I need to get him from here to there. But then I told myself, don't look at there. Let there guide you and take it at one day at a time. And that's how I put in the effort. And, I'm happy to say I love reading. My son loves reading. And you'll be there, he'll bring a book and say, Mommy, read. Or he'll be reading and ask you, when he looks at you, it means he can't pronounce that word.
We saw that this morning when we shared the clip of Kofi reading.
Yeah. He will look at you, it means he will say what? Sometimes he wouldn't even say, he will look at you like, come on, help me. And, we use the sounds of the letters to do it. But I wouldn't say that it's all me. I got helpers along the way. When I needed school for Kofi, every school I knocked on in Ghana at the time would tell me, oh, we don't have resources to take care of him. And he was just a child who needed to be cleaned, fed, and maybe babysat at that time.
So just keep an eye on him.
Just keep an eye on him, And so I reached out to Down Syndrome International. I had to sign up with them as an individual caregiver. And then I told them my son will be 1 year, next 2 months. I still do not have a school. If you don't help me get a school, at 1 year, I would have to resign my job and focus on him, because now I have to work full time. So they referred me to a school, and this school takes children from 2 years. And I decided, I read everything on the website, but I still booked the appointment, and I went. And I told them, yes, he is 11 months old, but Monday, if you don't take Kofi, this is my situation. And I have an older daughter, I have a special needs child, I need to be working. So yes, let the specialist assess him. And with assessment, they realized they could take him. So Kofi was taken at 11 months. And since he has been in that school, they have taken children younger than 11 months. So if I hadn't knocked, maybe that door would have still been closed to many parents.
So Kofi has been in the same school?
Yes.
Okay.
He has been in the same school except this month. He didn't go to school this month, one, because of the COVID cases, And then, like I told you, we got an asthma diagnosis this month also, this year also. So I felt like, let me continue doing. He has got some solid foundation. Let me continue doing homeschooling. I am in between jobs now, so I am home. So let me do homeschooling. And then once the numbers calm down, things settle, he'll go back to the same school.
Agnes, tell us about Toda.
Toda has...
She's heard her name, so she's looking at me closely. She's wondering, what did I do to Auntie?
She has changed her school 3 times already because she couldn't fit in. But where she is now is good. We are still trying to get her do what she will have to do at her age. So we are still struggling with. Unlike Debbie, she did her. She started early. I did not. There are a lot of things that I have learned from her that I'm now applying. So we are still little by little. We'll get somewhere. I believe that I'll get somewhere. By Debbie, I'll get somewhere.
By God, by God.
No, she's challenging me. No, I thought that, I heard that there was no way Toda was going to read a question, understand and answer. So that was what I know. Until I met Debbie and I saw that Kofi was reading. I said, yes, then Toda can read. Then I should not believe that she cannot read a question and answer. I read about persons with Down syndrome achieving internationally, so why not? So we have delayed, but there's hope.
Okay, great. I like that. That's Vim. Is there national support, Debbie? What does the state do for you parents?
Well, Mama V, like I said, children like Kofi and Toda, they need specialist care. And the kind of support we have is the NHIS, and the NHIS doesn't cover most specialist care. So everything you do is out of pocket, every hospital you go. And you see, as a parent, I have, since my son was born, he was born in a private hospital, and we have done private hospitals all throughout, because naturally I hate hospitals. I hate to see people suffering. And you know, when you go to I remember when Kofi was, I think, 8 months, I went to Kolebu for speech therapy because I read and we needed to start right away. But then every week I would have to go to Kolebu for 30 minutes of speech therapy. I live in Ashalibutri. So I'm sitting here, and you are going to sit in the queue. It will get to your son's time. You do 30 minutes, and then you go home. That's a lot of travel time and everything, you know. So I chose to go to the private hospital because at the time I could also afford it. But the thing is, the care these children need, nationally there's no support in terms of for us to say that, you know, the National Health Insurance law says that every child, whether the mother or the father is on NHIS or not, should have free health care. But ask me whether that is the case. And the health care that my child needs before 5 is complicated. It's a cocktail of many things at the same time. You know, my son has gone through surgeries. He has, and it is all to improve his quality of life, but we have had to do it out of pocket. I know there is is it the MP's Common Fund or the District Assembly?
District Assembly.
Yes, where, you know, you have to apply and then they give you for fees or something. I went to make an inquiry, and the district I went to make an inquiry at, I was told they were given to people, disabled people who are older and can learn a trade or can sell something, you know.
So you didn't qualify.
How can I take care of him till he grows to be able to access that fund to start a trade or to do something? And he told me that is what it is. But fortunately, I think last year Agi applied, and it took about a year for the funds to come in for her.
Yes.
So
yeah, I applied for her education. Okay. I heard about it, so I went to the district assembly, then I applied for her education. And after a year, they gave me money, some money for her fees. And this year, the man in charge called me. He said because of COVID, they are not in the office. They are not working. They are working from home. So when they open the office, he asked me to bring her receipts again for this year. Okay. So I'm hoping that. So I'm appealing.
How long did it take?
it took 1 year. When I applied, it took us 1 year for them to.
Which assembly is this?
Tema District Assembly.
Okay. So Debbie, it looks like you have to go back to your assembly.
I may have to, but Mama V, a year for you to get.
I know.
a year, a whole year, to wait for, something.
I can understand. You sent me the hiring chain.
Yeah.
The hiring chain.
Yeah.
And it's an advocacy for persons with Down syndrome to be hired.
Yes.
Get employment.
Yes.
How important is that?
Very, very important, because you see, every human being, your quality of life is improved when you know that you are contributing something, whether in the home or society, or you have a certain routine that is fulfilling for you. Persons with Down syndrome, yes, they are delayed, but that doesn't mean that they are totally useless. They are not. They are not. And so the hiring chain is so important for us this year, and I'm so happy that Down Syndrome International and allies have come up with that video, because like I was telling you, I have been studying my son's interest right from the very beginning. So I exposed him to a lot of things, and I know people would say that costs money, but yes.
That doesn't cost money, that is expensive.
That it does. But the thing is, I don't want my son depending on me when I am 80 years old. I am cleaning his bum. I am, feeding him. No. So the thing is, once you identify the child's interest, somebody is baking, Kofi loves music and dancing, and for the last 3 years or so, he has been with a dance studio that he goes every Saturday. And, just seeing him with his peers, that connection, that he has a life outside of home. He's the only child at home now. So school was giving him that interaction with his peers. Now school is not there, but that interaction on Saturdays, that 1 hour that he's with them, he's doing everything. He has had a professionally directed performance twice at the National Theatre and at the School of Performing Arts. And I'm thinking that this is something that my child can actually do as a career, because he loves it. And it will take him a long time to learn and become proficient at it. And that is why it's so important to start early.
Okay.
To start early,
okay.
So hiring is important because it improves their quality of life. It gives them something to do outside of home. And I think we just need to disabuse our minds in Ghana that they can only learn vocation. Basket weaving, doormat weaving, and that is good. But there are other capabilities for these people, and we need to explore that. We need to give them the opportunity to develop it.
Yeah. Agnes, what do you see Toda doing the most? I mean, what does she like to do?
I realize she likes cooking, she likes to be in the kitchen, she likes music, and she likes dancing. I know most children with Down syndrome like music and dancing. So she also is enrolled in a dance school. Okay. And she's enjoying it so much. I'm hoping that it will be her career one day because she loves to do it. Okay. She loves to model too. She likes to model.
Oh, she's doing something. Are you modeling?
Yes.
So that's Toda right there. That's Agnes's little cutie right there, who's 10. She just had the things that she likes to do.
And she began doing them.
So what does she cook?
Anything. I'm in the kitchen and she wants to do everything I'm doing.
Yeah.
What are you going to cook?
Egg.
Okay.
Simple.
Perfect. So, in this is a beautiful conversation. I really would have loved other parents to also reach out, but I know there are people who are watching. Somebody has heard what you have said. You know, it sounds beautiful when you've been through it for a period. For you, 10 years. For Debbie, 7 years. And so you've reached a point where you're almost comfortable because you know what to expect. The new things are not necessarily new, at least you can deal with it. But somebody is beginning from the very bottom. They see you and they see hope, but the work involved is not easy.
At all.
What would you say to them? How do they start? Yeah. How should they start?
I will say that they should start with acceptance. It is very important to accept that this is the child I have, and then jump from that hurdle to what can I do to help myself and help my baby. Because as long as we live in denial, there's nothing you can do to help yourself and then help your baby. So you accept. And there's a lot of literature on the internet. If you read, you can get yourself educated. And we are also here. We've gone through it. So anything you want to ask will be of help to you. Debbie will add.
Oh, okay. Are you open to people reaching out to you, for instance?
Oh yes, like I mentioned to you, I have had people reach out to me through my blog, and the thing is, I think as parents who have older children, we don't know it all. But the thing is, once we share our stories, once we share our journey, it encourages that young mother who has just had a diagnosis and they don't know what to do. I am currently mentoring a few mothers, and I tell them that, look, the emotion you are feeling is valid. Where you are at now, the fear you are feeling, the anxiety, the uncertainty about the future, it is all valid. But don't focus so much on those ones. I think what worked for me was taking it one day at a time. Even some of the days, especially days that we are in the hospital, I take it 1 hour at a time, because if I know the doctor will come for a review at 12 o'clock, that is what I'm looking forward to. He comes at 12 o'clock, gives me what the prognosis is or what he's going to do next. I focus on that. So it is okay to be afraid. It is okay to be anxious, but don't get stuck, because that child is breathing, is growing. His needs are there. And you need to, at some point, wipe your tears and get your loins and get to work. It's as simple as that.
Great. When I was making my notes last night, something occurred to me and I wrote it down. I thought it would be the last thing that I would ask you. How has Toda changed you, your life, your career, and all?
Having Toda has taught me a lot of life lessons. Primarily, when we give birth to children and they develop, they attain milestones, we take them for granted. And we think it is normal that your child at a stage should hold a head, should sit, should crawl, should walk. But when you have a child with special needs, you realize that it is grace. It is the grace, not a luxury. It is a grace of God that your child attain all the milestones and the developmental milestones. She's taught me a lot about patience. You want to have her bath and you have to sing, dance. Make all that will make her comfortable to bath, do what she wanted to do. And she has taught me a lot of patience and love. For children with special needs, you have to love more than the word love itself. You have to love them unconditionally and then give in all. A lot of time have to go into their development. Like I live in Tema, I have to take her to a dance school at the Spinters Road. And sometimes I'm tired. Not to talk about the financial aspect of it. But we need all these things. And she's taught me so much that I should be grateful to God for everything. And I will say that children with special needs are just like us, are also wonderfully and fearfully and wonderfully made by the God who also created us. And if you look at them, watch them with a positive eye, all the positives will show in them. Yes.
Great. I have to ask you, Debbie, just the final one. How has Toda, somebody is looking after her, Shokamba. How has Kofi changed your life, your lifestyle, and your career?
So, Kofi, I had Kofi when I was already working with one international organization, and so the HR things were already in place. And when the diagnosis came in, I immediately confided in my supervisors that this is it. I naturally have, if I can say that, great work ethic. So if I need to do X, Y, Z, because I know that this is the child I have, I don't postpone it. Get to it, do it now, clear it out of the way. And I have friends who will tell me that, do you take rest at all?
Can you please help her come back? Thank you.
Do you take rest at all? Because sometimes as late as 11, 12, 1 a.m., things that I know I need to get out of the way, I immediately get it out of it, because when Kofi is awake, he needs my full attention. And so there's no need postponing things I can do when the time is there to do them. So Kofi has changed me in ways that I didn't know were possible. I learned to be patient with him. I was someone who, prior to having Kofi, I cared so much about what people thought of me, you know? And then suddenly you have this child that society has a whole opinion about, and he is your child. He is who you were given.
Yeah.
And so I had to learn to accept him, because no matter if I don't accept him, that is what society will model.
Yeah.
And so genuinely accepted my son and stayed committed. In terms of my career, I have always advocated for persons who are downtrodden, special needs, and it's like I see it and I'll have to say it. Do you understand me?
Yeah.
And then now I am in the position where really my voice could actually change his outcome. So I advocate. Everywhere I am loud.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for what you do. May God continue to give you grace. And Toda is beautiful. See? So thank you for taking care of her and loving her the way that you do.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can have plenty more conversations.
Sure.
So how do people reach out?
Again?
Yes, Toda Connect Foundation. And we are on...
And Toda is spelled?
TODOH.
Okay. Toda Connect Foundation.
Foundation, yes. So you can reach on Toda Connect, todafoundation.org, or number 0244 272 922. 0244 272 922. And then the WhatsApp line 0266 476161. Then Debbie's number.
Okay. Debbie's number?
0244 387846. 0244 387846. I also write at debbieskey.com, and that is where I share everyday thing.
Okay.
With
right.
my son.
Well, thank you, ladies.
Yes.
And to Toda as well. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining this conversation. Let me introduce to you what we're bringing to you next on the AM show. The national amateur boxing team, the Black Bombers, have intensified preparations ahead of the 2020 or 2021 Olympics, which comes off in Tokyo later this year. Joy Sports editor Nat Atto watched them in training and has put together a comprehensive report detailing their preparedness for the task ahead. Enjoy.
So this is a regular day at training here for the national amateur boxing team, the Black Bombers. The idea here is to make sure that they are in the best of physical condition as they get themselves ready for a major assignment. I'm talking about the Olympic Games. And of course, in front of all of them are the captain, Suleiman Tete, who's the first to have qualified for the Olympic Games, and Samuel Techi. These two young, ambitious men want to make sure that they fly Ghana's flag as high as possible to emulate the examples of others who did that at the Olympic Games, like the likes of Eddie Blaze Sr. Well, today I'm just going to have a conversation with them, get into their minds and see how they're preparing themselves gradually for that big international assignment in Tokyo, Japan. Remember, if the situation remains the way it is regarding qualification, then these two gentlemen will be the ones to hold the fort for Ghana in boxing. Welcome to this conversation. My name is
Welcome back on the AM show. Hopefully you learned a thing or two on the back of that conversation on Down syndrome. But as we celebrate Ghana Month, we would like to share with all of us the origins of our names, the significance of our names. And by the way, if you're a Kwame or a Yao, for example, or a Ya, what are the characteristics that make you stand out? What does your day name say about you? How much do you know about that? This morning, we dig into that as we share and have fun. And it's all about you. We'd love to hear from you as we actually take your comments on social media. And maybe we just might activate the phone lines. But before we get into all of that, let's watch some of what some of you shared with regard to your names and what they mean.
Sunday.
Where you're from, what's the name they give to people?
The name they used to give to people born on Sunday is Akwasi. Yes. The meaning of Akwasi is like, you see, Sundays, especially like Sundays, the reason why we give that name to, like we give Akwasi to the Sundays is like because of the sun. He said, in the olden days, they used to say that like during Sundays, the sun is very high. So those days, if anyone was giving birth on Sunday, you give that name to Akwasi based on the sun. That's what my grandmother.
I was born on Saturday.
Okay, so where you're from, what name is given to the people born on Saturday?
Oh, okay. I'm from Adansi Kojo Kwanta. Yeah, and my name is Ama. Yeah.
Can you tell me the meaning of Ama?
I don't really know the meaning of Ama. Yeah.
I'm born on Tuesday.
Where you're from, what do they name people born on Tuesday?
Komala. Yeah. Komala is basically for Tuesday born. So if you are born on Tuesday, you are called Komala. Yes, basically just that. No, there's no other name. Basically, where I'm from, that's the name they give to all Tuesday borns.
It's a cause, but we call it Awusi. 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 It's like the day you are born, if you are Sunday born, and that's what we call it Awusi.
What day were you born?
Wednesday, yeah.
Where are you from? What name is given to people born on Wednesday?
I'm a Fanti, so Kweku, yeah.
So what is the meaning of it?
Kweku, I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know. Yes. Unless maybe I ask my mom. Yeah.
So what day were you born?
I'm born on Saturday. Yeah.
Where you're from, what name is given to the people born on Saturday?
Well, what I know is they are called Ama if you are born on Saturday. Yeah.
So what's the meaning?
I have no idea.
So fun. Na today the woman see a juada. I mean juada no fancy for oba fancy mo a ye juada me fa na adwoa. Adwoa. Na oba asante mem say adwoa. Na minim asante ha na mbete say adwoa for jo. Ma mi kom de minim sa na yesi. Efrem na ne adwoa.
Trinevrango. Na da ya wo me ekosiara. Nti kosiara ne afra na alahare. Nti ye kuro mu ho na kyese ye wo obi kosiara ye to na alahare ne kyeresa wa woda no na ye alahare no kosiara te sai hase a ye fra kosia no
asibi na mfide baraga so me fra num na edi aye de fra me aye bone all bone because me abro anti all ko pe so spell all all bone na edi ya de frame me ano no nti me nim say bi a me wodin fufuro bi wo ba bi a and I don't know ti me din ane ebone no ma wine ba ko pe no size
maybe fantini ya o Friday ya from kofi bye do na frame fifi ana fifi no ye different bi a yes ye mrane se wo Friday a fifi ye wo duada kwadwo na ejojo wadi a se ye wo memenda ya to kwa amena ne ye wo ya wada ye fra we kwawo ye wo kwada ye fra wa beku wadi a se nja beku bi aye Wednesday born na jojo bi aye duada na ebu ye benada abena ye ebu nti di ni sa na tie.
I come from northern region. I'm from Bashi, yeah, but they born me in Ashanti region, so I was born on Wednesday, so my name is Kwaku.
Interesting, isn't it? And Alahari, Sunday born, and Lahari, and all the related names. But what is your day name? And what does it say about you? Do you know the origins of some of these names? You heard that gentleman talking about the fact that on Sundays the sun shines a lot, and Akwesi, that's how, it's tied to their names. But what is the story behind your name? And I also want us to talk about this. What are the characteristics of those born on a specific day? Whether a Thursday, Yawada, or a Monday, or a Wednesday Wukwada, what are the characteristics? Do share with us by calling that number 0302-211-691 extension 2. 0302-211-691 extension 2. It's a conversation we're having. We'll be joined shortly by our guest to deliberate, get into some of these matters, but so many interesting things to talk about. In some places right here in Ghana, if you're the firstborn, of course, the PSA coming through, the twins come, and then we all know about the Tewia, the ones coming after the twins. But how about the Nyankomagos and others? How much, or the Gomados? How much do we know about all of that? I found out something interesting about the day names as well, where indeed, depending on when you were born, there is something significant tied to your name. But before we get into some of those, we have our first caller from Kumasi, and this is where it gets interesting. Sandra, good morning. Hello, Sandra. Okay, so we'll work the phone lines to connect with Sandra. But like I shared earlier on the show, one thing I found out about my day name that got me interested. Apparently, we're tied to the earth. We are related to the earth. So we are here to dominate the earth, if you like. Asasiabai. And unsurprisingly, the Kwekus and the Akus and the rest, Kweku Ananse in there. You'll find out why. Mavis is on the line from Kumasi. Mavis, good morning.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure having you on the AM show. What's your day name?
Pardon me. I'm Mavis. I'm Amma.
Amma? Okay.
Yeah. I heard someone saying something about Sunday born thing. I don't know. I've heard something about it and I wanted to call to say something, contribute.
Okay. Yeah. Please share. Go ahead.
The Sunday thing, there was my grandma told me that normally, in those days, okay, the sun usually scorch on Sundays.
Okay.
So every Sunday they will gather and call their neighbors, everybody, that today we are going to wash Kwesiada. So that was the day people were washing in the olden days.
Wow.
That's why when you are born on that particular day, they call you Kwesi or Akos. Kwesiada, which means we are all going to wash our things because this is the day that the sun will be very hot.
Interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that. And there are stories about Kwesi Brody as well and how we came about that. I'm hoping someone will be able to share. I discovered a few things. But let's move on to Atule in Bolga. Atule, good morning.
Good morning.
Did I pronounce your name properly, especially as we're focusing on names this morning?
Atule.
Atule?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what does Atule mean?
It means that if you want to born me in the day my mother born me, I didn't bring my head come. I come direct. I bring my leg come. So that's my name means.
Wow. So you came out with your legs?
Yes. Sir.
Oh, you were one of those naughty ones.
So I bring my name in the day you are born in me.
I see. So beyond Atule, do you have is there a day name that you were given? And what is the meaning?
The meaning, the name is, my name is that the day you are born in me, I didn't bring my head.
Okay. Okay. So Atule is your day name?
Yes, sir.
Right, right. What else can you share with us from, the Bolga area? What are some of the interesting names that you have and their significance?
Like, my name is the one. If you born somebody, you bring their legs. If you are a woman, a girl, or boy, you call you Atule.
Wow.
So if you call somebody Atule, it can be a boy or a girl.
Right.
But to me, that person bring his legs first.
Okay. Atule, thank you so much for sharing all the way from Bolga. I'm wondering whether Tulenke took some inspiration from there. Well, we have Desmond in Ashaiman. Desmond, good morning to you. Hello, Desmond. Oh, it appears we've lost Desmond. Desmond from Ashaiman, if you're listening to me, I'd like you to call in and share with us what exactly you were going to share. You can also call that number 0302 211 691 extension 2. 0302 211 691 extension 2. What is special about your day name? What do you know to be special about your day name? If you are a Talata, for example, in the Dagmani system, what is special about your name? Do we have Miriam from East Legon?
Yes, Miriam from East Legon.
Miriam,
hello.
Thank you for joining. Now, what's your day name?
My day name is Baby Ya.
Baby Ya. Now, Baby Ya, that's an interesting. Where from the baby?
Oh, the baby because I'm an adorable person. So my mom gave me Baby Ya.
The ma. Okay.
Yes, the ma.
And Ya because I'm assuming you are born on a Thursday.
Thursday, we are the best.
You are the best.
Okay.
Ayo. Correct for 3 points. Why? I'm a Thursday born too. Thank you for calling in, Miriam. We have Inanna from Kumasi. Inanna, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am very well. Now, Inanna, this is my first time coming across this name. What's the meaning of your name?
My name is Tindana.
Tindana.
Yeah, you're right.
We've murdered your name. Our apologies.
Okay.
Tindana, now that sounds very Ghanaian. Okay, so which part of Ghana are you from? Tindana?
Between Brongo and Bolga, center of it, that is Upper East.
Okay, so what's the significance of your name? Tindana, does it reflect your day of birth?
No, but Tindana, the meaning of Tindana is land owner. Like here, you call it Asasiura.
Ah, nice one. So after this conversation, we'll save your number. I'll come to you for a plot of land.
You want a land?
Yes.
Am I the one who created it?
But you're a landowner.
Yeah, someone gave it to me to be the owner of it. So I have to ask him before.
Okay. So
that is our Lord Jesus Christ.
Right. Let's come to your day name. What is your day name?
My day name is Wednesday.
Okay, so what day name do you use?
Normally in Ashanti, they call me Kweku.
Kweku. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know that Kweku is tied to the spider, Anansi, and some relate that to mischief? Are you mischievous?
But that interpreting is from the Asantis. But in our place, we have a CB, Lamisi, Larba. So in my name, which I translated it is Kweku. In our place, it is not like spider.
Okay.
Or whatever you say. In Kweku, that is whereby they give me Tindana.
Okay.
It's translated land owner.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tindana, for sharing your thoughts. As far as I know, though, I think it's the Thursday boards that have Alamishi, the day, and then Lamisi as well. But Opoku in Techiman also joins us, a historic town in Ghana. Opoku, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Opoku itself, I know, has some significance, but what would you like to share about your name, its origins, its significance?
Yeah, I want to know.
Hello, Opoku, please go ahead.
Of the days of the week.
Okay.
Before I come to my name.
Okay.
You see, in the olden days when we were going for war, that's where names the week was named. The first day, Sunday, is Kusida.
Okay.
Kusida. That's washing. And then Monday is Truda. True. That's where that's the day we conduct weddings and then weddings. The Joda.
Okay.
And then Tuesday, brother, is Benida. That's where we go for war. We go to the Petit Spirit, and then if you're going for war, you go and then do some incantations and then go for war.
I see.
Yes, and then Wednesday is we call it Ukweda. That's where you go and kill. That's the war front. So Kumda, Kumda.
Wow.
And then Thursday is
Yawada.
Yawada. If your husband didn't come home, it means he's dead. So you wait, you mourn.
Right.
And then Friday is Pida. That day you don't go for war, you stay at home and then rest. Pida. And then Meneda is
right.
So you stay at home and the elders will bless you.
Wow.
So that's how it means.
Thank you very much, Opoku, for sharing all the way from Techiman. Yes. Two other things that come to mind because he spoke about war. Bekwin, the name Bekwin, born in war. And we have something like Obimpe. If you bear any of these names, you can share what you know about them. But we have John from Bolga joining us. Hello, John.
Hello.
Good morning, John.
Morning.
Great. So what is your local name, your given day name or soul name? And what is the meaning?
It's John Ayanyene.
Ayanyene.
Ayanyene means God.
Okay.
God.
Okay. So when it is given to you, what is the significance?
It means God.
Okay. Kind of resonates with mine. Mauvi, God's son. So yours, Anyene. Is that same for Dr. Dominic Anyene? I think I have to find out from him.
It's the same like that.
It's the same. Thank you very much, John. Let's move on to Pram Pram now. Ni is there. Ni? Hello, Ni?
Yeah, good morning, Benjamin.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, too.
Okay, so which one of your names are you going to touch on this morning? Is it the Ni? I know Ni means chief or king, right?
Yeah, yes, please. Ni means a chief or a landlord.
Okay.
Yes, and we the people from Pram, we don't really have a day name.
Okay.
We really have the native or the stool name. We have names like Bashi, Adiki.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you so much for sharing. That's insightful because we also know that in some parts of the country, they don't have day names. In some parts of the Northern Belt, in other parts of the country, there are no day names that are actually given. You can still call through 0302-211-691 extension 2. 0302-211-691 extension 2. And those with peculiar names, some of them are given because of the circumstances of birth. Nyameche, Aseda, Dromo, like I mentioned, Obimpe, Bekwe, among others. Fusaini from Yendi is on the line. Fusaini, good morning. Good morning, Fusaini.
Yeah, good morning.
Now, I hear some of you pronounce this name Fusaini and others pronounce it Fushaini. Which one is yours? Is it Fusaini or Fushaini?
It's Fushaini. The local name is Fushaini.
Fushaini. All right, so spot on that. Now, what does Fushaini mean?
Fushaini is a twin name given to a male twin.
Given to a male twin?
Yeah.
So you are a twin?
Exactly.
And so what is the other twin called?
It's Fola Al-Hassan.
Fola. Do you have the system? I know we have the Penyi and Kakra and then Teria and Yankumago system.
The Dogombes, we don't give those names to our twins.
Okay. Right. So Nanedu in, thank you very much, Fusaini, for sharing, Fusaini. Nanedu in Bonsu Nkwanta, Nanedu Bonsu in Nkwanta actually will share his thoughts. You'll be our final caller. Nanedu.
Yes.
Good morning. Thank you for joining.
Yeah, I want to contribute to your program.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Kwame.
Okay.
I was born on Saturday.
Right.
Yeah, but what I know is Saturday is called Kwame because it's a name for the Most High God.
Right.
Ochediam
Kwame.
Yeah. So when we talk of the meaning of those names, you know, all the names have their meaning. We have the Asaseya and then the rest. So Kwame is named for the Most High God. So every Kwame is known to be Ochediam Kwame. Kwame, the Most High God. Thank you.
Thank you very much, all of you, for sharing your thoughts. We'll be going on social media to check out some of your comments as you have sent them to. And we posed the question, which day were you born on? What's the local name for people born on those days? And do you know what that name means? And a lot of you have shared with the hashtag #AMShow. So let's do this one from Nana Kwame Colors. You say, stop the misinformation. If you have to stick to account naming, we don't have anything like Yao. And mind you, even in Ever, when you spell it Y-A-O, it is still Yao. Also, the real name is Akwesi, not Kwesi or whatsoever. Again, there's nothing like Ama, A-M-M-A. It's Ama. Be careful what you... Okay. So it's reflective what we posted about how people, spell their names today. You have people spelling Kwesi with a Q. And so that's something that we would have to grapple with. Yao Sedov says, all their names start with K. We don't do like them because they are all the same and we are handsomely different. A perfect day to be born. Thursday, where are my Yaos and Yas? Hashtag Team Bless. Well, we're here. Okay, we're here. Nenyi Jete says, Tuesday born, Kwabena is the name, alias hobby. Hashtag self-love. But I didn't really get some of you telling me about the characteristics of people born on which day. Let's see whether we'll find some. Esi Nyama says, the Sunday girl's own should have been Akosia or Esi because most people call it Esi rather than Akosia. Okay. Gemstone Libra says, we are the light of the world, the morning star, the energy. Sunday, a proud Akwesi you can never charm. No size home. You're at why. I Jones says, use Akan names instead of local names. This is not the Akan land Uncle JB dreamt of. Why? Stop this. Akan. Okay, so no, nothing like that meant. After all, we have different naming systems across the different ethnic groups. So it's nothing with a focus on Akans. It just so happens that the Akans also have quite an extensive naming system. Night Raven says, Tuesday, most handsome and beautiful beings. Sexy something something. I can't read that out. Nakunta the second says, I was born on Wednesday. My name is Kofi. Hey. Okay. Yo, Matewai. I thought you would say something else, but Kofi Pa. And Kuma Richard says, I'd wanted to contribute, but how some people are peeved and okay. So this friendly match too, well, it's unfortunate sometimes. This was meant to be fun, all of it. John Potterfee says, Friday we get Kofi, did you say Efia or Kafua? Saturday, Kwame or Kama. My suggestion. Oh, so you are proposing that we do that. Okay. Yao Premper says, which one is Yao? Masa, you better put Yao there if it is Akan names you are posting. Well, you may not know Yao Premper, but from the other side, the Volta region, when they say Yao, it actually ends with an O, unless you're going to Oti, and it's now the Ashanti end of that part of the country. Ebenezer Annan says, okay, so in the Akan, right? That's just a follow-up. Dovlo Michael, we have only 2 special days. That's Thursday, you are so right, and the rest. Read Nahum 1 verses 2 and 3 before you attack me. Okay, so Alendu Sule says, why the male side have all their names starting with K except Thursday Yao? That's my question for the week. Okay, so it's been a fun session. I think we should do this more. Explore our names better. The twin names and all of that, and get to know from different parts of the country why we use certain names, what the origins are, and what they stand for, basically. It's been fun. I've really enjoyed myself, and I look forward to the next time. But right now, it's time for us to take a bit of a breather. When we come back, it is King Kadi with Showbiz right here on the AM Show. Do stay.
Good morning. You're welcome to the Showbiz segment right here on the AM Show. My name is Kadi Asamoah, and this morning we will be talking to Jackie, who is currently in Nigeria. We're going to be finding out what she's doing in Nigeria, the progress she's done so far, and then more on her remix that has been trending for some time now. Her remix with Omale. And then good morning, Jackie.
Hi. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you too?
I'm good. I'm good. We've seen pictures of you in Nigeria. We want to know the purpose of your visit.
Okay, so I came to Nigeria a couple of days ago and it has been amazing. I came to do media run, promote the song on a couple of radio stations and TV stations and meet up with my fans over here as well. We also shot the music video for Forever, the remix, which will also come out very, very soon.
Okay, but how has the reception been like from Nigerians?
Oh, it's been lovely. It's been amazing. Nigerians actually do love Ghana music, not just my music, because I could be in the car and then I would be hearing Ghanaian music being played on their radio station. And
really?
So the love here is actually massive. And I mean, the main goal is Ghana music to the world, and that is what we are all trying to accomplish.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the remix. That's what everybody's talking about back here in Ghana. And I can see on Twitter that it's been trending since you released it on your page on YouTube. So how did you decide to work with Omale on this one?
Right. So when the song dropped, I mean, we had a couple of people in mind to jump on the remix. And when we reached out to Omale, his team and himself, they were really down to do the remix. And we sent the song over to him. And then in a couple of hours, he sent back his part and then we just moved quickly.
Okay, so some are saying that with your remix, I've listened to the song personally, and then people are saying that maybe you should have changed the lyrics, or maybe something about it.
My part?
On your part, yes, on your part.
Oh, you know, Forever is actually an anthem now. I didn't want to touch it or make any changes whatsoever because what is in the original song has actually been stuck in people's heads and it's like an anthem everywhere. And so I didn't want to make any changes. It's like a restaurant that makes a particular type of dish that all the people that eat there know how it tastes like, and then you go there the next day and then there's something different. Do you get it?
Yes, I get it.
And so I wanted the original version of My Part to stay as it is and Omale to do anything that he wants to do.
Okay, that's a good one. But Jackie, I want to know, are you working on a whole new song with Omale? Is there something cooking up?
It's actually in my plans. It's something that I would want to do because I wouldn't want Forever to be the end of the music I would do with Omale. And so, yes, we will definitely hit the studios again and do more good music.
Okay, and I remember I had an interview with Nigerian artist Joe Boy, and he expressed interest in working with you. Have you met him so far?
I haven't met him one-on-one, but I think we communicated on Instagram or something. I haven't actually had personal communication with him yet, but it would be nice to meet up with him sometime.
Oh, but since you're in Nigeria now, and since he said he wants to see you.
Yeah, I'm not so sure if he's in Nigeria or if he's in Ghana, but I haven't met him yet.
Okay.
But hopefully, I'll get to meet up with him very soon.
Okay, but how many radio stations have you been so far since you went to Nigeria? Because you went to Lagos first, right? And then you're in Abuja.
Yeah.
Are you currently in Abuja?
Yeah, honestly, I've done so many interviews. I'm sure it should be more than 15 so far.
Wow.
Or more than 20 because we had some in Lagos and then we also went to Abuja and then we did a lot more and then we came back and then today I have a lot more to do. And so I've actually had a couple of interviews.
But where can we watch these interviews? Because we've seen pictures of you on the radio stations, but we've never had a chance to listen.
Right.
Yeah.
I think what I have to do is whenever I post it, I have to put a link where you can stream online because they usually put a link for outsiders to be able to stream online. So I think that's what I have to do.
Okay. All right, now UK-based Ghanaian record producer and composer Mike's Quest, and he has said that he can see you bringing the Grammys to Ghana. I don't know if you've seen that interview, but I want to know what you think about that.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet, but that's really nice. Amen, a big amen to that.
Are you working towards that?
Grace and strength so that we'll be able to do good music the more to be able to grab the Grammy.
Okay, before we leave, tell us a bit about Jackie Chan.
Oh, my fans. You want to know about my fans?
How did you come up with that name?
Right, so the Jackie Chans are people that love my music, my fans, people that listen to my music, and they have been really supportive because at the end of the day, if you do music and people do not love it, you're still stuck wherever you are. Do you get it?
Yeah.
And so a big shout out to all the Jackie Chans, everybody that's a lover of Jackie music. You know the vibes already. Keep streaming my songs, keep streaming the remix, and there are bigger packages coming out.
Okay, Jackie, thank you so much for your time this morning. So, guys, that was Jackie Echampon. Jacqueline Echampon.
Jackie Chan, eh?
Jackie Chan. I don't know. I love it.
Okay.
I don't know. I just love it so much. It just goes. Just
Jackie to the world.
Jackie to the world.
But let's quickly do this birthday one to George Ofosuhene, MD of Bond Savings and Loans Company, Max Fuga of Multimedia, wishing you that happy birthday to you, George Ofosuhene. On which day were you born?
Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Yeah.
Kukua.
Ikea. Hey, no.
My producer just said something interesting.
You can't say that.
I'll find out. I'm not going to say that.
That's a lie.
I'll find out from you after the show. It's a lie, eh? Anyway, this is where we wrap up the show with more of Jackie Forever. Let's connect same time on Monday.